Hey everybody, it's Chris, and I am back to show you some really cool things that you can do with leftover resin. So I like to use resin to protect my coasters and my trivets from heat. Not only does it give them a protective finish so that you can set cups or hot pans on them without them sticking or leaving rings, it also really brings the paints back to life. But I find that when I do my projects with resin, sometimes I tend to have some left over. And the best thing that I ever invested in was this reverse alphabet mold from Amazon. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link to this. It's an affiliate link that will be down in the description of the video in case you're interested in purchasing one of these guys. I think it was about $15 on Amazon. And like I said, seriously, the best thing I've ever bought. It is so much fun. And I will have to admit that I don't use it just for leftover resin. I may have been known to actually mix resin up just so that I could pour letters. It makes so many cool projects. So one of the things that you can do is to have a really fantastic alphabet. So this is an example of some of the letters I've done. This one is actually the Garnet Rose, which is from Counterculture DIY. I like to use the Counterculture DIY artist resin, and that's what I'm using today. But I've also kind of gotten addicted to their glitters too. So I will also put a code in the bottom of the video. The code is Chris, K-R-I-S-S. It's a coupon code that's good for $5 off of a $40 purchase if you're interested in purchasing their resin or any of their glitters. And their glitters, you guys, are just absolutely amazing. So this one is the Vivid Violet, and I'm not sure that I can really capture how beautiful these glitters are. There we go. If I get the light just right, you can see it. But this is the Vivid Violet. As I said, this A was the Garnet Rose, and then I also had a chunky glitter that I had put in with it too, just to kind of give it a little bit more interest. And then this one here is called Jupiter, and it's kind of like a rose gold, and then it has kind of some coppery and pink and gray in it. It is just a beautiful color. So like I said, these glitters are from Counterculture DIY. And then the alphabet is from Amazon. So the other thing that I've done with the letter alphabet is to make keychains, and I'll show you how I did that too. This is actually the Evanescent glitter from Counterculture. It's really beautiful. It's kind of like a translucent glitter though, so you can kind of still see like some light through it, but it's really beautiful. But I'll show you how I did this keychain as soon as I show you how I pour the resin. So here is my leftover resin that I have, and I'm going to use this Great Gatsby glitter. I think this one is just beautiful, and I haven't used it on anything yet. So like I said, I'm kind of sort of addicted to the glitters, and I'm totally addicted to this alphabet. So you can make cool refrigerator magnets for people. You can make cool keychains with the letter alphabet. Oopsies, no, that did not go as well as I had hoped. All right, so let me take this up, and I'm just gonna go ahead and plop this back into my alphabet, or into my resin. And then I'll just make sure that I pour a C when I pour these guys. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have enough glitter in here so that you don't have a lot of clear areas, because I think it's really beautiful if the glitter is really thick in there. So I'm just gonna mix this up real quick here and see what we have. And I can kind of still see a little bit of epoxy. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more in here. A little goes a long way. There we go. You kind of want it, you still want it to flow off of whatever you're stirring with. You don't want it to be like a paste, but you want it to be thick enough so that you see the color, because the color really is beautiful. And then I just pour it into the mold. Super duper easy. And the cool thing about the silicone mold is it almost like resists the resin. So it kind of like tends to kind of go down into the letter itself, which is kind of neat. And then I just make sure that I have it filled up all the way to the edge, so that I have a nice solid letter. So there's the C. And then let's do, oh gosh, let's do an O. So I've been pouring alphabets and I've been using different colors of glitters. And so my thought is, okay, what extra letters do you need in an alphabet besides, you know, the basic 26? And I feel like vowels are definitely a good one to have more than one. So there's an O. And let's see, how about an L? And then I have one other thing that I want to show you too that's really cool. And I just realized that I wanted to show you that before I added my glitter to my resin, but that's all right. I think I can show it to you anyway. Okay, so there's this. And I will show you guys at the end of the video because this is going to have to set for probably about 10 to 12 hours before I'll be able to take these guys out. The other thing that I like to do is to use my heat gun just to pop the surface bubbles, but I wanted to show you one other thing too. So these are little candy molds that I bought at Walmart, and I think they were like $1, $2. They weren't very much. I think you could also use ice cube trays for this, but I'm going to use these to make some really cool magnets. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my glitter in here, or my glitter resin in here, and let these guys set up for some really cool magnets. And I thought the blue stars would be really cool for this. Now, the one thing that you want to do if you're using the silicone molds, please do not use an open flame to pop your bubbles. Make sure that you're using a heat gun, and you want to be very careful even with a heat gun, because if you get too close to it and if you hold it there too long, it will melt your little resin or your little silicone mold. So, you know, please be careful when you're doing that and kind of use caution with that. All right, I'm just going to add a little bit of extra that I have here to the center one and the one on top because I don't like to waste it. And then I'll show you another mold that I had used to make some magnets and what I had to do to kind of fix it, if you will. Okay, so this is I'm gonna set this to the side and I'll pop the bubbles with my heat gun, but let me show you. So this is another mold that I had bought, and it's like a diamond mold. And I apologize, these I purchased at Michael's. This was at Michael's, but it's like a little diamond mold, and oh my goodness, you guys, wait till you see what these guys look like. Okay, so let me show you what it looked like when I brought it out of the mold. So this is what it looks like out of the mold. Now, what I have found is this particular mold has like a shiny surface to it, or a shiny finish. These are kind of a dull finish. So if you're going to use a mold that has a dull finish, what you have to do is take some clear resin, and let me make sure that I don't have any glitter on my fingers. So you just take a little bit of clear resin. Okay, can you guys see this? I want to get this really close. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in focus for you. Okay, see how it's kind of cloudy looking? Watch this. It's like magic, you guys. Do you see that? Look how shiny that becomes when you put just a clear coat of resin. And this truly, guys, this is just like a little drop of resin off of a project that I just resined. And I'm just using my finger to kind of move it around. Make sure you're using nitrile gloves when you're working with resin, and you should be wearing a respirator. But look at the difference in that. Here, let me show you. I have one more that I haven't done that to yet. So let me show you these side by side so you can see how much different that looks. Can you see it? Look at, I mean, I can see it like reflecting off the light in the window. Isn't that beautiful? But look at how dull that is. So please don't get discouraged when you take these guys out of the mold. If they look like this, just mix up on your next like batch of magnets or alphabets, whatever you're doing, just take a little bit of resin and use a clear coat of resin on that, and look at the amazing difference in that. I'm so excited about these. I'm making these for someone at work, and I think she's really gonna love them. Okay, so that's what you can do to brighten these guys up, is just a little coat of clear resin will brighten them right up. And those stars that I poured, I'm almost positive that I'll probably have to do the same thing to those two, because it's just a cheap little mold, but it's like, gosh, you know, I found that it was very hard to find molds. So I was very happy when I found those at Michael's. I think they were a couple of bucks, but I was very excited to find those because I was like, oh, that gives me the option to make little diamonds and make some stars. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside now so I can show you real quick how to do the keychain. Okay, so I've got some of the pieces here to show you what comes in the kit. And this kit, I think, was just like $12 maybe, and there are 450 pieces in here. So there's actually enough stuff in here to make 150 little keychains, which I think was a really great value. So we've got the little eyelet hook, and it's got a jump ring. And then we also have the little keychain. So it's got the loop, and it also has a little piece of chain on it too. So I will put the link for this down in the description as well. This is another affiliate link for Amazon. So you can get the alphabet mold and the keychain kit from there. And I'm just gonna put these little pieces here. So what I've done with the letter, this is one of the little bees that I did. Okay guys, so I had some technical difficulties with my video, so we're gonna have to do a voiceover. I did use the Jupiter for the letter B. And the next thing that I did was to drill a tiny little pilot hole in the top of the letter. And this just helps you to get the little eyelet hook started. Now, if you're doing this about 12 hours after you've actually poured the letters, it's probably soft enough where you may not have to do that part of it. But since these letters have sat for a couple of weeks since I've done them, the resin is really hard. So it just kind of helps you to have a place to kind of get that little screw started. So that was the next step that I did, and it was a really tiny drill bit. Make sure that it's smaller than the eyelet hook that you're using, otherwise you'll have some issues. And then the next thing that I did was to take a little tiny pair of channel locks that I had, and I placed the little eye of the threaded portion into the channel locks. And then I used my propane torch and I heated that up. And what that does is kind of, I felt like it would help to melt the resin a little bit and make it a little bit stronger. And then I just applied a little bit of pressure and I just slowly turned it into the hole. Now, I will caution you not to turn these too far because it's very easy to twist these little tops off, because that's the reason why we're doing another video right now, because the one that I did start on, I actually twisted it off. So be careful not to turn it down in too far into it so that it doesn't turn and it'll break, so that it doesn't break off for you. So here I've put the eyelet all the way down into the letter. And there's just a little tiny bit of it sticking out at the top, which works out perfectly for the little eyelet hook. And then the next thing I did was to take the jump ring. Now the jump rings that are in this kit are already pre-separated. So I just put my jump ring into the little eyelet. And I'm using my needle nose pliers because it's a little bit easier to get everything on there than with your fingers. And then the next thing I did was to take the keychain portion of it and to slip the chain into the so here I've just put all the pieces onto the jump ring. And as I said, the jump ring is already pre-split for you, but if you've never done jewelry making before, whenever you do close up a jump ring, you want to twist it. You never want to like spread it apart with two pliers. That makes it a lot weaker. So make sure that you're twisting it together or twisting it open. So in this case, I used my other channel locks and then I twisted that closed. And that makes it just a much stronger connection for you. So then that completes putting all of the hardware onto the little resin letter. And this is, like I said, this is a really super easy project and such a fun little gift idea, or just a fun little thing to give to someone just because, just to say, hey, thanks for, you know, what you did, or hey, here's something to put a smile on your face. So really love all the glitters and stuff and the fun things that you can do with the alphabet mold. The other thing that I have done too is, you know, like I said, there's so many different things that you can do with these letters. And one thought that I had was to do like a little name placard with someone's like name on it. I think that would be super cute too. So you've got the alphabet mold, and you can do, you know, refrigerator magnets. You could do a name placard. You could do the fun little keychains. Another thing that I've done too is to use the expandable phone holders. And this just sticks on the back of a phone case and kind of gives you a little phone grip to hang on to. But those are really fun to add the glittered resin to as well. And I've bought those in black and white. And the black seems to be really nice for like the darker colored glitters like I have on the left side. And then I like to use the white plastic ones for the lighter colored glitters. The only thing I would caution you on is that when you're doing this, make sure that you don't put too much resin on, because if it slides off the side, it kind of makes a mess. So you just kind of want to pull it up onto the surface. But this makes a really fun glittered phone holder too. So a really great project. So hopefully I gave you some really great ideas on what you can do with your leftover resin. Like I said, at the end of the video, I will show you what these stars ended up looking like, as well as the alphabet that we poured with that really pretty Great Gatsby glitter from Counterculture DIY. I will put the affiliate link for the alphabet mold, the affiliate link for the keychain set, as well as I will put the link to Counterculture for all of the glitters and the resin in case you're interested in ordering that. If you have any questions, please let me know. I would love to help you out if you have any issues with any of these projects that I'm showing you today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.